You can eat clean, you can work out, and you can still feel exhausted, foggy, and bloated. And the reason is silent inflammation. It's the hidden stress that's running the show in your body, and it's a whole lot sneakier than you might think. In today's episode, I'm going to break down what it really means, the surprising signs that your body is inflamed, and how to finally calm down that fire without guessing. Because when you fix that inflammation, you start to fix everything else. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. So hey friends, welcome back to Gut Fix. I'm Wendy Handy, your functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I want to help you get to the root of what's really going on in your gut, your energy, your hormones, so that you can start feeling like yourself again. And today I want to talk about something that can be very, very sneaky. It's silent and pretty much running the show for most people on the planet, and that is inflammation. And I'm not talking about the kind when you, say, stub your toe and you get swelling, but it's the kind that is hidden beneath the surface, and it's slowly draining your energy, it's slowly fogging up your brain, and it's totally hijacking your health. So here's the thing, your body needs inflammation sometimes. It's your built-in firefighter. So let's say you cut your finger and you're bleeding, you have some redness and swelling. Well, that's your immune system saying, hey, I gotcha. I got this. Don't worry about it. I can take care of it. But when the fire never fully turns off, your body keeps putting out sparks, and those sparks, they don't belong there. And it becomes a very slow burn that spreads system-wide in your body. And we call that low-grade or chronic inflammation. And here's the kicker. It often doesn't show up on your standard blood work when you go to the doctor, your general practitioner, and they run the blood work. It doesn't show up there until it's been smoldering for years, right? And now you have full-blown symptoms, and now you have something really going wrong inside. And so it's like having that smoke alarm that only goes off when the house is raging fire, right? It doesn't catch when it just begins. And so if you've been feeling tired, no matter how much sleep you get, or if you're bloated, even when you're eating everything quote unquote healthy, or if your skin is acting like you're, in your teens again, or you catch every single cold that comes your way, that's your body that's silently whispering to you that something's off. But once it stops whispering, it's going to start yelling, and it's going to be, now you're going to have to be putting out fires all over the place, right? So what is causing the burn? What are the few common culprits that tend to fuel this flame? And these are the most common, are certainly ultra-processed foods, but also processed seed oils. So things like canola oil, because I get asked this a lot. What is a seed oil? Well, it's like canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, vegetable oil. Those are all processed seed oils. And they're very high in omega-6 fatty acids. And when they outnumber your omega-3s, that means your body is in a pro-inflammatory state. So let me give you a statistic. So Ideally, you should be at 3 omega-6s for every 1 omega-3. And omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, right? So, and we need both of them. We need omega-6s and we need omega-3s. They are essential, but our body doesn't make them. So we have to get them from foods. The problem is what we see time after time after time, and especially with the standard American diet or the SAD diet, is that those omega-6s are more like 20 or 30 to 1, which is extremely, people are walking around inflamed. So that's the first cause. The second cause is chronic stress. And when you're under chronic stress, your body continues, you're in fight or flight mode, right? So your body continues to produce cortisol. And originally, cortisol was meant to help you outrun tigers. But we also need cortisol sometimes, right? But it's not really meant for deadlines at work or, stressing over anything at work with family, with coworkers, anything like that, or maybe even doom scrolling, right? So that's not really what the cortisol was meant for. But what we see now is that is constantly at a high. And cortisol is too much is catabolic to the system. It will break down your body slowly. So chronic stress is huge in our society right now. Now, the third thing is poor sleep. And even one night of bad sleep can spike inflammatory markers through the roof. So it's crucial. And if you go for, say, weeks or months with poor sleep, you're just adding fuel to that fire. You're increasing that inflammation. So sleep is huge. And I got to tell you, that's probably one of if I could get everybody in the world to do just one thing, it would be prioritize your sleep. The fourth thing that can really inflame and cause the burn is hidden food sensitivities. So I'm not talking about allergies, not those things that you eat them and you have an immediate response that could be life-threatening. I'm talking about a sensitivity that can be delayed, and it can be delayed up to 72 hours. But those immune responses, they can quietly trigger inflammation, and they can trigger it for days. So, and especially then if you eat it again, that same food, right? So that's number 4. Number 5 is your gut imbalances. So when your microbiome is out of balance, it can lead to leaky gut, which leads to those toxins, those viruses, those bacteria into your bloodstream. And that when those get into your bloodstream where they don't belong, your immune system goes, whoa, we got to take care of this. And it's on high alert all the time. So we've got to fix the gut. And I like to say that, inflammation, it doesn't have one root cause. It's more like it's a tangled web. And the longer that it stays tangled, the more systems that it tends to drag down, like your hormones or your metabolism, even your mood. So how do you know that your body is inflamed? What are the signs that your body is inflamed? So let's take this to the practical. So you might not feel inflamed, right? But there are some subtle signs that you can be looking out for. So look out for those afternoon crashes or sugar cravings to get you going again, right? Even joint stiffness when you first get up in the morning. And no, that's not really just age, you're getting older. That is a sign of inflammation. If you look in the mirror and you think, wow, I'm just really puffy, my face is puffy, my eyes are puffy, that's inflammation. If you have, brain fog all the time, or you have mood swings, can be inflammation. If you have bloating, gas, or any kind of unpredictable digestion, look to the inflammation. Or if you have those random skin flare-ups like, acne, like I said, if you're back to when you were in your teens, or eczema or rosacea. Those are all signs that your body is inflamed. So if anything like that sounds familiar to you, then yeah, inflammation, it can be the great imposter. And that's why guessing never really works. You've got to test to see if that is what is causing these symptoms, right? So here's where I see so many people waste time and money. So, and I hear this a lot, even, clients that come to me and they're at their wits' end. They've tried everything. They start cutting out random foods. They start throwing supplements at the problem. They start chasing the next diet fad, but they still feel stuck. And that's because without having some clear data, you're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall, right? And that's, you're not really finding out what is your root cause or what could be your root cause. And that's exactly why, in my business and with my clients, I use the Fit 176 food sensitivity test because it is a very advanced at-home test lab that looks at your body's specific inflammatory responses to 176 different foods and food additives. And not what's bad in general, because some of these foods they're not bad, they're good foods, they're whole foods, but it's what's bad for you and your body, because again, we are all different, right? We all have our own biology. And so it shows, it's going to show you which foods could be creating that immune stress and that immune response saying, ooh, foreign object doesn't belong here, so that you can finally calm down that inflammation at the source, right? Without guessing and without giving up everything that you love and without throwing a bunch of supplements at it, because that sometimes can be just throwing money down the drain, right? And I've seen clients go from daily bloating and fatigue to, having very clear skin, having better energy, and finally feeling light again, right? Simply by removing their top reactive foods for a few months. Now, that's maybe not going to be the be all end all, but it's a great start to get you on the road to really healing, right? So knowledge is power. But sometimes in this case, it's relief too. And so what are some everyday ways that you can lower your inflammation? Well, number one, you can balance those omega-3s and those omega-6s, right? So you want to make sure that you are adding omega-3 rich foods. Things like wild salmon, chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts are also very high in omega-3s. This is going to help to balance out that omega-3 and 6 imbalance, right? And it's going to help to turn off the inflammatory pathways. Another way is certainly to upgrade those oils. So you want to ditch those industrial seed oils and start cooking with avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, even beef tallow, instead of those seed oils, right? Then you want to go green, right? So a lot of leafy greens, herbs, and those cruciferous veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Those are going to help your liver to process the inflammatory compounds. So, and then a little bonus tip here is laughter and gratitude. Those can also lower inflammatory cytokines, just FYI. So laugh a little bit more and just be grateful for all of the great things that you have in your life. And that may be your best anti-inflammatory, just having a good laugh or having a daily gratitude list, right? So just kind of close this up and recap this. If you've been wondering, could inflammation be behind your low energy, your stubborn belly, bloat, and fat, or maybe your unpredictable digestion, then stop guessing, right? You can find out. And if you look down below in the show notes, you'll find a link to the Fit 176 food sensitivity test. It's one of my favorite at-home labs for uncovering your body's hidden triggers so that you can finally get some clear answers and start feeling better from the inside out. And what I want to tell you too is when you have these food sensitivities, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eliminate these foods or reduce them forever and ever and ever more, right? It could be that we just need to fix your gut and your gut lining and get you back on track, and then slowly introduce these foods back in because they possibly are foods that you really, really love. And I want you to know that your body is not broken. It's just been trying to tell you something, right? And now you finally have a way to listen to it. So I want to thank you for tuning in. And if you found this helpful, I would love it if you would share it with somebody that you care about. And remember that, your healing starts with awareness, and it always starts from within, right? So until next week, keep listening to your gut and stay happy and stay healthy. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.